Hey guys, it's Bethany Finch with American Made Home Solutions, and it's Win Wednesday. Hey, one of the things that so many people actually ask us, because we're Christians, they often ask us, is real estate investing ethical? So when they ask us the question, is real estate investing ethical? The first thing I ask them is, what is the definition of ethical? So I looked it up. The definition of ethical is being in accordance with accepted principles of right and wrong that govern the conduct. So let's apply that definition to real estate investing.
Could you explain it to me?
Well, first off, there's multiple ways that you can invest in real estate. So if I choose to invest by going and purchasing a single family home and I become a landlord. So is there anything morally wrong with going and becoming a landlord?
Yes. No.
Well, no, there's not at all. You're actually providing a home for somebody else that they could live in, that they couldn't afford to buy, but they can live and pay rent. So yes, it is ethical for you to go buy a home, become a landlord, and provide that for a community. But it can be unethical should you choose to, say, become a slumlord or not obey the laws of your state. For instance, states have laws in place as to things that have to be fixed immediately, like broken windows, broken doors, things of that nature. And if you choose to simply ignore that, well, then that would definitely be considered unethical.
That was bad form.
Yeah.
The law has been in place. It's very clear. The windows are all to be in working order for different reasons, whether it's fire hazards, things of that nature. So if something happened to a window and it got broken, you would then be responsible to fix it, or to, if it was the tenant's fault, have the tenant get it repaired, things of that nature. So in that situation, it depends on what are you doing as a landlord.
The landlord should pay for all repairs.
But there are other ways that you can invest in real estate that are not involving you becoming the landlord.
Out with it, out.
So another way that you can invest in real estate that doesn't involve with you becoming a landlord is through a multifamily syndication. So we have many videos on the topic of what is a multifamily syndication. But basically, in a nutshell, it is the government's way of allowing investors to pool funds and use it to purchase real estate in a much larger capacity.
Oh, well, that's very nice of them.
Those funds are then buying an apartment home or a big commercial building, things of that nature. So a syndication, some people view it much like buying stocks in a company. So you own a share of that building that those funds were used for.
I took a tiny piece of it.
Now, again, is it wrong to own a stock? Well, according to our guidelines here in America, right, or public moral, so to speak, is not ethically wrong to own stocks or shares in companies and or businesses or assets such as real estate.
Ah! I knew it!
But what it could be ethically wrong is, for instance, if you, say, invested in a company who produced abortion products and it was against your morals and principles to support abortion. In that situation, that would be a cause where it might be considered unethical for you to invest in that. Many times people don't always stop to think that their dollars have an impact beyond what they're doing. So when we invest in things like infrastructure, building new trains, building subways, things of that nature, or when we invest in things that build more apartment homes and communities, right? It has an impact on our community. So you look at that impact and go, is the impact ethical? So in that situation, that's where you have to determine, okay, do I support this or do I not support this? Does this go against my morals and my standards? Obviously, if it is against the law, based on, like, the government has guidelines for multifamily syndications and they need to be very strictly followed with lawyers and all this, watching all of it to make sure that it is ethical according to the laws of America. Then you just take it the next step further and ask yourselves, is this ethical based on the impact it's going to cause, right? So in that situation, simply by investing in a multifamily syndication definitely is ethical. You're buying a building, you're buying something that has value, and you're creating revenue or growth from that value.
We're doing something important here.
So another way that you can invest in real estate, both on the active side as well as the passive side, is you could actually be developing. So you could be building new single family homes. You could be developing large communities, both of single family homes or multifamily apartments. You can actually be building and producing more properties that are available.
Big fan of Bob the Builder.
So in that situation, again, ethically, are you doing something that agrees, is in accordance with those principles and standards of right and wrong? So by building something new, in this situation, if you're building homes for people, well, yes, that's a good thing. So for instance, if you were building a jail where you were going to imprison people and sell them as slaves, well, then that technically would probably be considered unethical, right? What you're building and what it would be used for would be what your delineation there of ethical would be.
Ethical conundrum avoided.
Many times when people are asking the questions of whether or not something is ethical or not is because as Christians, we believe that our time and our resources, whether that's money or experience, all of that is to have some kind of impact or is there for a purpose. And with that, we want that to be going towards the right things. So if we're investing our time, if we're investing our resources, say we're getting up and going to a job, right? And then it's producing a wage, and then you want to take those wages and then turn around and do something with them. Well, usually you provide for your family, and then after you provide for your family's needs, many folks often have leftover that they would like to do something else with. So that's where real estate investing can come in. But what you also want to look at is the impact that you can have. So many people reach out to us here at American Made Home Solutions because we are impact investors. So what that means is we have a proven track record of creating sustainable growth in all of our communities that we're in a way that is not just moral, but it's ethical. So it's not just abiding by the laws of the land, but it's abiding by us as Christians and what we're trying to do, which is help meet the needs of our communities, whether that's providing more workforce housing, whether that's providing homes for veterans, whether it's providing homes for aged out foster care kids, or providing funding for very important programs such as Underground Railroad or Cities for Life or local 501c3s like Catholic Community Services and different things. So we look at that in twofold question. First off, what are we doing initially with our real estate investing? And then what is the impact that it's going to create on that community? When we do that, and those questions both are yeses, that's when we know we're okay to move forward.
You have a green light. I repeat, a green light.
So only you get to answer whether or not you get to move forward in whatever it is that you're looking to decide. But first, ask yourself, do I want to invest actively or do I want to invest passively? And both questions are definitely ones you want to answer, but many of the times it's pretty easy to tell if we have time on our hands or if we have excess money on our hands. Most of us don't have extra time, but we have extra funds and resources.
I have neither.
So if that's you and you're looking to invest and you not only have, it could be time, but if it's not and it's just more on the resource side, you'll want to download our free passive income due diligence checklist. When you do, it'll guide you through, once you've decided real estate investing is ethical in these areas and this is the avenue you would like to pursue, it will help you make those decisions super fast, super easy, and show you ways and means that you can do so. With that also being said, you can always reach out to us here at American Made Home Solutions, and we'd be happy to answer any further questions you have. Simply drop a comment below and we'll be happy to connect. Until then, we'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.